Welcome. It's Monday, January 23rd. Well, actually, it's not right now. I'm actually recording this a few days early since I'm going to be out of town. I did want to take the chance that I won't have access to a computer or there'll be some last minute problem and then you might not get this on time. So by the time you're watching this, I will be actually getting home and looking forward to your comments. But that brings us to today's reading. And here today we continue on with the back and forth between Job and his friends. And this time Eliphaz and Bildad come back, and it's each for them their second time. And we see this time that Eliphaz, who's really the senior of the group, is beginning to lose a little control. Initially he was collegial, up here, pretty guarded in what he was saying, trying to get Job to see the logic of the situation. Well, this time he's a little bit more edgy, a little bit more out of control. Job isn't responding the way he would want him to or expect him to, and so a little bit of frustration comes out. Eliphaz, as he's explaining it, clearly is showing his position basically is, I know everything I need to know. I have the wisdom of all those who've gone before me. He's pretty much closed his mind to anything new that God might be teaching him or that God might be doing. He believes he possesses all the wisdom he needs to figure this out, and he just needs Job to go along with him and accept it as he has understood it. Now Bildad, on the other hand, offers nothing new. He just continues to attack. He says, Job, you need to be quiet. And he only restates what he says before, that Job needs to get his act together, that he needs to pick himself up by his bootstraps, follow in line, and then everything will be okay. A very legalistic interpretation of how you're going to be right with God, and that is, morally, you just have to do what's right. The problem for these friends is that what is happening only makes sense to them by way of what they understand about God. And they don't or aren't willing to consider that something else may be going on. And so they have a hard time with this. And they don't want to admit that maybe they don't have this all figured out. And as we look at Job then and his response to them, this is a man who not only is he struggling with the loss, but now with his friends, what he's really seeing is that he's lost that bond of friendship at a time when he really needs it. He needs acceptance, he gets alienation, he needs intimacy, and he gets loneliness. Alienation literally means no bond. And not only has Job lost his family now, he now senses he's lost his friends. What psychologists tell us is that alienation from human contact is the primary cause of loneliness, and so that's now really seeping into Job and making his situation seem even more desperate and even worse. The feeling of loneliness and alienation, too, extend now towards God, as Job describes God in violent ways, as we saw there in chapter 16, I think it was verse 9, where he says, he has torn me in his wrath, and verse 13 he says, he slashes open my kidneys. Here, at least in these few verses, this desperation, this alienation, loneliness, despair, it's really gotten the best of Job, at least for the moment, and he's kind of lost it. Now, as we go on through the rest of the reading in chapter 17, there's this moment, this aha kind of verse here, where Job now looks to heaven and to his God. He kind of catches himself again and settles back down, and he appeals to God for mercy. He looks to God as the only one at this point who can offer it. He realizes that he can't do anything about his situation, and his friends aren't helping him, his family's gone, so he appeals to God. And of course, as we know, that's exactly what he should do. That's exactly what we should always do. And he asked God there in verse 3 of chapter 17 to pledge for him, to put up security for him. Very legalistic kinds of terms again for someone standing in his stead, someone who will make bail for him or put up a bond for him, so to speak. So in the midst of his rantings, we have this brief aha moment in his discussions and his thinking. And that's really a description of the part of the process Job is going through throughout the book, as it is leading him ultimately, certainly to chapter 19 and his declaration that my Redeemer lives, and then beyond. Now, what does that mean for us? What did it mean for me today as I read this? A couple of things come out pretty loud and clear. Number one, I can't even begin to scratch the surface of understanding God. What I know of God, He has revealed to me in His Word. I see in His creation, but that's it. What I'm asked to do is trust in Him, for He has promised to take care of me, to love me, to forgive me, to provide an eternity for me, and His promises come true, and He asks me to worship Him and love Him and follow Him in return. So that's the first thing. And in fact, I need to also remember that during those times of suffering, when it seems like there's no reason, when there are untimely deaths of those we love, and when it seems like there's no reason for it and we can't understand it, that's not the time to turn away or to come up with my own explanation for things, but rather it's a time to go to God and appeal to Him and leave it in His hands. Now, the other thing that I learned today, and that really spoke to me, is that we all have a need for intimacy and to be in relationships. Remember in Genesis, God said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." God meant us to be in relationships. And Job gives us a great picture of what happens to people when the need for that human contact is not met, when all those who are around pull back and we are left alone. That says to me that not only do I, when I'm struggling, need to seek out those who can be a support to me, but I also have to be looking around for those people in need that God may be placing in my path, where I can offer words of comfort, where I can be a listening ear. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about today, is who needs the comfort and the support that I can offer. And so as I go through today and in the days succeeding, I need to make myself intently aware of that and looking around for those opportunities. It's been a great day so far, and I hope you're having a good one too, and look forward to being with you again real soon.